Bueno, muy buenos días. Vamos a iniciar nuestro camino de B1 a C1 para el examen Toefl. El día de hoy vamos a continuar entonces con nuestro tiempo presente perfecto. Habíamos dicho que en el tiempo presente perfecto de primeras iba el sujeto, subject, entonces va I, you, en primera, en singular, I, que es yo, you, tú, iría también nosotros, we, ellos, they, y ustedes, you. Va cualquiera de esas, luego continúa con have y luego el verbo en pasado participio, past participle. Entonces allí en este caso estábamos usando la palabra work, que es trabajar, pero en pasado participio, entonces worked. ¿Bien? Worked. Esa sería la pronunciación, worked. Bien, bueno, ahora vamos a escuchar una noticia. La noticia es tomada de www.bbc.com/news. Es una noticia de Donald Trump y de allí nosotros tomamos 5 palabras desconocidas. Estas 5 palabras desconocidas son las siguientes. Entonces tenemos acá estas 5 palabras son Entonces tenemos la primera, guessing, que nos confunde con guest, ¿sí? Guest, que es invitado, pero guessing, entonces guess sería como un adivino, una divina. Guessing, entonces nos da incertidumbre. Bien, la palabra guessing es la palabra misteriosa o la palabra desconocida que escogió mi hijo ayer. Guessing, incertidumbre. Tenemos también removal. Bien, esta sería destitución. Destitución. Tenemos behavior. En este caso es comportamiento. ¿Sí? Recordemos que cada día vamos a escoger 5 palabras nuevas. Entonces fueron guessing, incertidumbre, removal, destitución, behavior, que es comportamiento, y tidal, pero es tidal wave, ¿sí? Que en este caso es oleada, ¿sí? Tidal sería como marea, como mareada, como tidal wave es oleada, y regime, que en este caso es régimen. Son las 5 palabras que escogimos para hoy como 5 palabras desconocidas. Vamos a escuchar ahora a la aplicación la lectura y nos vamos a familiarizar con ese texto. Entonces vamos a escuchar la lectura del texto.
When Donald Trump posted, "Help is on its way," it set off a tidal wave of speculation about what form help would take. And that, of course, was the point. To keep everyone guessing. But what lessons can we learn, if any, from Donald Trump's other recent intervention, Venezuela? The dramatic removal of Nicolas Maduro did not represent regime change, but rather a shock to the Venezuelan government, designed to change its behavior. So far, it seems to be working. Washington has taken control of Venezuelan oil. The government of Delcy Rodriguez is playing ball and over 100 political prisoners have been released. Could something similar be on Donald Trump's mind when it comes to Iran? The U.S. has many tools at its disposal to shock the Iranian regime, though flying in to remove the supreme leader is almost certainly not one of them. By targeting barracks of the besieged militia or Revolutionary Guard, for example, it could show the government that there's a heavy price to pay for its repression. Cyber attacks and other covert activities could put the regime, already weakened by Israeli and American attacks in 2024 and 2025, on the back foot. The prize might be an Iranian commitment to lower or abandon its nuclear ambitions, along with a halt to the killing, the release of political prisoners, including foreigners effectively held as hostages, and greater freedoms. But it's hard to see the regime in Tehran agreeing to any of this without some form of dramatic intervention from the U.S.
Bueno, perfecto. Entonces allí tenemos este audio. En la descripción del video voy a colocar la transcripción, ¿sí? Y también el enlace de donde está el original de este texto. Ahora vamos también a escuchar también de una página. La página entonces la tenemos en la siguiente, que es para ir educando nuestro oído. 6 minutes English de la BBC, ¿sí? 6 minutes English, 6 minutos de inglés. Entonces tenemos allí esto, 6 minutos de inglés. Entonces ahorita voy a colocar 6 minutos de inglés, para que escuchemos también.
Six-Minute English
from bbclearningenglish.com.
Hello, this is 6-Minute English from BBC Learning English. I'm Neil.
And I'm Beth. In Britain, we call them crisps, and you might know them as potato chips.
But whatever you call them, these fried potato slices are probably the world's favourite snack. Neil, are you a big crisp eater? And what's your favourite flavour?
I love crisps, Beth. They are my favourite snack.
My favourite flavour is prawn cocktail, which is controversial because a lot of people don't like that flavour.
I think my favourite is salt and vinegar.
Yummy. You're making me hungry.
Well, crisps might be popular, but with lots of oil and salt, they're not the healthiest food. So why do we love them so much? That's what BBC World Service programme The Food Chain wanted to find out. Here, presenter Ruth Alexander talks to Mitchell Dingwall, a food executive responsible for developing new crisp flavours.
Why do we love crisps so much?
I think it's just that crunch, right? You can't beat the crunch and then that delicious salty feeling in your mouth, and it just becomes a snowball effect. You just want more of it.
For Mitchell, the best thing about crisps is the loud crunch. He says you can't beat it, an idiom meaning something like, that's the best thing and you won't find anything better.
Mitchell says once you've started eating crisps, it's hard to stop, and you just want to eat more and more. He calls this a snowball effect, a situation where doing something causes other similar things to happen. You eat one crisp, and before you know it, the whole packet's gone.
In this episode, we'll be visiting 2 countries in love with crisps. And as usual, we'll be learning some useful new words and phrases, all of which you can find on our website, bbclearningenglish.com.
But first, I have a question for you, Beth. The record for the world's largest packet of crisps was recently broken in Saudi Arabia. But how much did the packet weigh? Was it A, about 1.5 tons, B, about 2.5 tons, or C, about 3.5 tons?
Okay, wow, they are all huge. I'm going to guess about 3.5 tons.
Okay, we'll find out the answer later. Let's travel first to Singapore, home of Jolene Ng, a market research analyst who specialises in salty snacks. Here's Jolene talking with Ruth Alexander for BBC programme The Food Chain.
Is the potato chip the most popular of all salty snacks?
It's very, very much dependent on personal preference. But if I were to look at certain countries, you could see like in the UK, it's very much part and parcel of life. You don't have it only during snack times. You have it with lunch as well. Or you put it, my husband's from UK and he kind of put it in his sandwich as well.
Oh yeah, a cheese sandwich with a crisp inside. Oh yeah, that's great.
Exactly.
Jolene says the popularity of different snacks depends on personal preference. Someone's subjective liking or disliking for something based on their personal opinion.
In some places, crisps are part and parcel of everyday life. Part and parcel means to be an essential element or feature of something. In Britain, crisps are so essential that people even eat crisp sandwiches.
But not everywhere is so in love with potato chips. Let's meet Jenny Martinez, a food blogger from Mexico. In Mexico, tortilla corn chips are eaten instead of potato chips, and it's common to see street vendors selling bags of corn tortillas filled with different sauces. Here, Jenny tells Ruth Alexander more for BBC World Service programme The Food Chain.
For you, which is your go-to snack, the tortilla chip or the potato chip?
Definitely the tortilla chip.
Why?
Because you could do so many things, dip it in almost everything, adding some guacamole, spicy salsa, or just sour cream with a mixture of chipotle sauce.
Ruth asks if tortillas are Jenny's go-to snack. You can use the phrase go-to to describe something which is relied upon to be the best thing for a particular purpose. For example, for a lot of people, Wikipedia is the go-to website for online information.
And Jenny thinks corn tortillas are especially good with guacamole, a paste made of mashed avocado, which sounds delicious and maybe a little healthier than a British crisp sandwich. Speaking of which, what was the answer to your question, Neil?
I asked you how heavy the world's largest bag of crisps was.
And I said very heavy, over 3.5 tons.
Well, it's not that big, but the real answer is still enormous, about 1.5 tons. The bag, made in Riyadh, was 9 meters tall.
Yeah.
Okay, let's recap the vocabulary we've learned, starting with the phrase, you can't beat that, meaning that something is the best and you won't find anything better.
A snowball effect is a situation where one action causes other similar actions to happen.
Someone's personal preference is their subjective liking or disliking for something based on their own opinion.
To be part and parcel of something means to be an essential or integral feature of it.
And something which is described as the go-to can be relied upon as the best thing for a particular situation.
And finally, guacamole is a paste made of mashed avocado, lime juice and salt. Delicious. Once again, our 6 minutes are up. But if you're hungry for more, then head over to our website, bbclearningenglish.com, where you'll find a worksheet and quiz for this episode. See you again soon, but for now, goodbye.
Goodbye.
6 Minute English.
From bbclearningenglish.com.
Perfecto, entonces ya hemos tenido nuestros dos audios, uno de 6 Minute English de la BBC y tenemos el otro que es de BBC News, ¿sí? Entonces vamos a empezar a mirar así y así vamos a lograr llegar a nuestro C1 mirando noticias y mirando también pues algunos ejercicios que están en estas páginas. Entonces gracias por asistir el día de hoy. Suscríbete a mi canal, dale click a la campanita, regálame, si te parece, un like y nos veremos mañana en nuestra clase número 3. Hasta luego.